Oh, hello. I think we're live. Let me check. Yeah, okay. Are good. Alright. So, get you up to speed here. Basically just did some house cleaning on a lot of the folders and file paths. Just organized like a bunch of stuff. Did some bug fixing. I remember everything. Oh, and also came up with a system for organizing the damage. Oh, we just changed the file path here. One second, just gotta add these back as the favorites. There we go. I actually lost track of time, so I didn't get to start the stream right away. I think we are, I think we're all set right now. Let me just validate this folder. Make sure everything is working. There's one effect actually that doesn't really have a home. I thought it did, but we go to our reference viewer. Nothing's connected to it. Can actually get rid of that. I think that was the only asset that really had a problem. Actually. Got a couple here. There were so many errors in our our cooked build, but it was basically just a bunch of files that we deleted a long time ago, so I updated all the file paths and everything there. I actually don't remember what this is even from. Oh, this is the slow effect that goes on to characters. Yeah, we're going to be reorganizing this as well. These kind of effects are going to be under the next step. So like status effects are going to get visuals and sound cues, everything like that. But as of right now, we're kind of getting rid of the old stuff to make sure that we have a nice clean slate to start from. Is there anything else that I did? Not that I can think of off the top of my head. Was going through some of the classes on our like in our controllers and everything, and we moved a bunch of stuff over to like a 3D like UI system. So some of these functions that we were using to kind of like flip-flop the state of our UI, it's pretty outdated. So I'm kind of just tagging things that need to get changed up in the future, because they're not going to be relevant for what we're trying to do. This is one of them. but I already marked it. Oh, I also fixed our bookkeeping for rounds. Just doing some quality of life things there, getting ready for the next playtest, or internal playtest is what I should say. So yeah, I mean, today we're going to be just touching some things up here. One of them being the healing effect, because I noticed some problems with that too. We go to our attribute set, right? And we go to the post gameplay effect execute, which basically handles like, okay, who's doing the damage from where, and what are we doing with the damage that's like coming in. It's pretty much all this really does at the moment. I noticed when we're actually healing, we are spawning a floating damage text on ourselves, which there's no point in doing that. So we have to add in a filter for that as well. So if the source controller is ourself, we will skip this. Basically what we have to do. Also going to create like sub functions for all this too, because it's getting out of control with the amount of if statements. Is it necessary? No, but I like to make things harder on myself. So I just beat myself up by doing it in C++ pretty much for everything. Some things are better off in C++, some things are better off in blueprints. I know Fortnite uses mainly blueprints for all their stuff. So honestly, just like preference at the end of the day. Yeah, so I think this is going to get changed. Is this fourth line in? Yeah, this whole thing is literally just for spawning in damage text. So if we go to a refactor for this, let's see how many parameters it actually needs. Wow. It's literally just saying like fuck this, and it's not even trying to refactor it. Got it. Oh, here we go. Holy shit. Source controller, target actor, source actor, fallback data, local damage done. Yeah, okay. What can we do without? Yeah, I really want to break all this up. Right now I'm just trying to see what pointers we can get rid of or convert to something else. We actually shouldn't say spawn, we should say handle, because it's not determined if we are actually going to spawn it or not. So, see what we need here. We need a source controller. I'm going to close up some of these. That's just an A controller. Need a target actor. We're using source actor as well. We actually might be able to use a pawn if we're just checking actors, or if this requires a character, then we'll switch it to the other thing. Local damage done. Will just be a const float. You also need a boolean as well. Player's old health. Oh shit. Constable. Okay. So control period. Turn that into a function name in our header. Place target actor here. Oh, true. So, what this line right here is basically saying is the point as to which like our damage actually hits. It'll grab that point and spawn the damage text at that location. But I'm gonna be honest, I think universally I just want the damage to spawn probably above their head. So what I'm gonna do is comment this out and put a to-do here. I'm gonna check on this later on. So I actually don't know if we, or like our like current spells are actually grabbing this, because most of them are like area of effect, and determining the exact location of that actually requires more data to store that over the network. And I don't think we're storing that much. I think we're just storing like the F vector net quantized location of the character. Kind of thinking out loud here. Let's see if this is necessary. So this will go all the way up here. And we are going to be passing in source controller, target actor, hold health, local damage done, and he is crit. Oh no, it just is crit. And we can take all of this on. Now, the reason we did that is A, to make this less cluttered, and B, we also want to check to see if the source actor and the target are the same, because we don't want to spawn in any floating damage text under that condition. So we could check that up here as well. Might be able to move it from this spot here. If we check for source actor not equal target actor, actually put that here, we can filter out things that aren't players. Which this is mainly for like AI, which I think I'm actually going to redo, because the code is pretty outdated at this point. I created like a baseline like AI class that had like a couple different abilities, like super basic pathfinding, stuff like that. So we got that out of the way. Don't think there's anything else in here I really want to touch right now. Yeah, definitely not. Let's compile real quick. Alright, so the goal for today is to create class specific damage types, right? And make sure that all the abilities in each class is going off of that damage type. Reason being is because when we implement passive effects, we want everything to be separated into its own like category, because like a lot of the damage effects for like the pyromancy class have like a burn or like a, you know, damage over time effect that they put onto the character. So I want to make sure that like Tempest or Druid doesn't have that type, like damage type assigned to them on any of their abilities, because if they apply a burn, obviously that would be bad. It's also going to be something where Druid has like its own class effect right now called like Mark of Death, where when you kill a player that has this mark on them from any type of damage done by like Druid abilities, you get a infinite stacking effect that will increase like healing and damage effects very slightly. So we want to make sure that only Druid abilities get that. So when I was like actually setting up the system for this, this is the best resolution that I could find for it. So I have Druid damage here. I'm going to make one for Pyromancy and then one for Tempest as well. We're going to start setting all the abilities and adjusting damage. If we go to gameplay effects here, so you guys can actually see this, we're using a custom it's called an execution calculation, and what it does is, let me open up the folder for it. Basically just takes damage that's incoming, and if you have like armor or like critical chance, anything like that in the game, this is where it does all the calculations for like RNG and damage reduction, all that stuff, right? So here I'm checking to see if the hit that went through was like a headshot or anything. If so, you know, crit chance goes to 100. And we do our damage multiplication if it was a crit, you know. And then here, after all the multipliers have been done for like critical damage, at the bottom, this resilience stat is something that reduces incoming damage by a percentage. So that's why we're timesing the damage here, so it gets reduced by this. And then right here, add output modifier. It outputs the damage after all this has been done. And then we just basically modify a piece of data that gets replicated across the network, letting other players know if it was a critical hit or not that went through. So we can do some like visual effects and sound cues, stuff like that. So, pretty good class. Alright, so calculation modifiers. You can see that this like autofills, and I don't know if it will on yours or not. It really depends on if you have it set up. But this goes off of what you're actually grabbing to do those like calculations. So like here, and when you actually set up gas, this is one of the things that they run you through when you're in the process of setting up any type of damage. You're basically looking for attributes to grab and kind of like capture them, basically just looking at them. And you can specify which ones that you actually want to change here through tags. Well, That's pretty much what it is. Without knowing like too much of gas, it's really hard to explain what like how all this works, but I'm doing my best so people can follow along. Alright, so we're not going to touch too much else here. I just wanted to make like a baseline gameplay effect that we apply to everything, and then we'll tweak this as we move along here. The main purpose of this is to be able to set a tag on here that all Tempest abilities will have, because their passive effect is they get something called intensity. So every time you do like a successful like auto attack on something, you gain a stack of intensity up to 5 stacks currently, and when you use an ability, it consumes all those stacks and increases the damage of that ability. So Tempest is pretty much like a combo burst class. Pyromancy is more so like burn and damage over time class, and Druid is more of like a hybrid like defensive like support class. And then the next classes we're going to be adding in are definitely going to be a little bit more aggressive in terms of damage. So we're going to have to tweak those a lot. Okay, effects, best trees, pyromancy. Alright, so we got a gameplay effect here. Trying to maintain my naming convention as best I possibly can. Alright. Fusion. Basically the same thing as before here. Oh, one thing that I forgot to mention is tags are pretty cool because you can actually make it so like damage doesn't get applied if like a player has like a certain tag on them. So for instance, we have a state tag called dead. So if the player has this, which they get it when they die, no effects will be applied, and it prevents stuff like players spawning in next round with like effects that they had the previous round on them or something like that. So it's more of like a preventative type of feature. While I'm at it, let me check and make sure the Druid class actually has that on their damage. Yeah. So source tag. This one is kind of tricky. I'm going to take it off. Reason being is because this is like, okay, the person that casts the spell, doesn't matter if they died or not. So say like you shoot a projectile, you die while the projectile is going. Do you still apply damage after death? I'm going to say yes, but in classes or spells that shouldn't have this happen, I will modify this or make like a subclass or a sub blueprint version of this. Okay, I think we're good there. I believe yesterday I was testing out some variables for like damage and healing effects. I don't think I touched this class. No, I did not. Okay. Yeah, so how I kind of want this to go is this will be the parent class, and then these will all be like child classes of it. So whatever effects that we apply to this, or like tags that this like applies to characters, it'll be replicated to all child classes, making it a lot easier to manage like passive effects and everything. So probably going to recreate Scorch. Just going to make a child blueprint of this. I'm actually gonna have both of these open because I still want to maintain like the same type of damage output that Scorch had before. So the duration policy we can change, and that'll be totally fine. What we're more concerned about is if the parent class has tags that it applies, not necessarily the policy itself. Everything looks pretty good here, except this. We go to components. Some of these like state tags I really want to redo. They're all pretty old, and they're not really matching the format that we're starting to transfer into in terms of naming. This also is a stacking type, so target probably be the best way to do this. What this is basically saying is when we apply this burn effect to the target itself can only receive 4 stacks of this when we try to apply it, so we can't go past that. If we did aggregate by source, what this would mean is like if 2 people were shooting at the target, they both would be able to apply 4 stacks of this, so the target would be able to have 8 on them. But there's a very key distinction between these. Okay. I'm going to make sure that the Scorch damage is actually pretty much the same as it was before. So we're going to go into our ability here and change the gameplay effect to our new one. And test it out. We're not actually getting any floating damage text, which means that there's a parameter in there that is blocking it. Ooh, actually, no, it's spawning, but it's not spawning on the correct target. Which means I mixed up one of the parameters when doing it. Let's see, what did I do? Target location, I'm assuming. Oh, target location just doesn't get set, eh? Yeah, okay. So what we're gonna do, grab this, put it out here. I actually failed to notice that this was an if-else statement here. But we do know that the damage is working. I just didn't actually see the stacking effect, so I want to check that. We're gonna just live code it and continue. For damage balancing, I kind of want to go off of the instance of like every class besides like Druid right now. should be able to kill a character within like 7 to 8 seconds roughly of attacking them with all their just like base abilities. No like gear or like attribute shifts. That's like the baseline that I'm kind of going for. So there's a lot of math involved when balancing that kind of damage in terms of like cooldown availability, the damage over time effects, obviously, like what kind of burst damage they can do, or like what the DPS of a class is. Like Tempest is not like something that does damage over time. It's like they just pop everything at once. So there's a lot to consider because each class has a very different role and how it does damage. Yeah, I gave it a thumbs up. Did you see? Okay. So, that's working. One thing I want to test actually is the healing as well. So this was spawning text above my character, but it looks like we're good. How good was it? How do you feel about its specific design? I don't know. The middle of the plate reminded me of like a flower like blossoming, to be honest with you. It looks like two leaves that are kind of like folding outwards. That's where my mind went like immediately, but that's interpretation. Okay, back to our effects here. Go to pyromancy and we'll start creating the other effects for this class. I'm wondering if I want all abilities to apply stacks of Scorch. Probably, right? So if that's the case, the parent class would actually have something that we could add a component in here that will basically just apply an additional effect onto characters. Actually conditional, where it is, I believe. Possibly. Then yeah, Scorch class, hold on. Let me copy that, delete that here. Go to damage. Oh, no. Since this is the child class, it actually just took from the parent. Okay, now we're good. That just threw me off for a second. painted it and made it from clay on the wheel myself. It's awesome, man. Just keep on learning how to do things. Alright, let's make a child class of this. We will call this one Burno. Create another child. I'm gonna create one for pretty much each ability. Oh man, this is testing my memory. Only 9 of them. Night. In your game, will the main goal be to destroy the enemy's main structure like in Dota, or play rounds like Valorant, or all together? So it's going to be more of like an arena game. So you can think of like, I guess like Paladins, like a team deathmatch kind of thing, but it's, you each have like 1 life. So yeah, you basically go into the arena. It'll be like a 3v3 or like 5v5 environment, is what we currently have. And then later on, we'll probably test some things out with like AI. My vision for it is to add in kind of like a PvE element to the game. I'm just not sold on which avenue I want to go directly with the PvE element yet, because there will be gear, so there has to be a way to acquire it, you know? That's a good question. The clay today was easy to work with. I made a small vase as tall and wide as an iPhone mini. Oh wow, that's really small actually. Firewall as well. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 3 more that I'm missing. That's actually kind of nuts. Oh, combustion. Like about as long as 1 average middle finger of... What? Why do you come up with like these like descriptions for things? That is like a crazy thing to say. Oh man. You know, as a developer, I should really know what every single ability is, and I'm just gonna say I do while I pull this over to my second monitor that you guys can't see, and type them all in perfectly. Yeah, who could forget wildfire? Oh shit, I hit duplicate. Very important, I do not duplicate. I create child classes. Control D is going to be the end of me. Eruption is another one, but this one does not necessarily need... Like, this isn't a damage, this is more of like a support. So, I'm actually going to put this into a separate category. We'll put Supernova here, though. Be all of them. Torch can go... Oh shit, we actually use this in like everything. Okay, that's gonna stay for now. This, as long as an average apple, not 2/3, just the size of an apple. That is pretty tiny. I used to take pottery back in high school. Was not that great at it, not gonna lie. Alright, so we actually have a couple of these gameplay facts already created. I do not believe they are child classes though, so we can just reparent them. Cyclone. Hurricane. Oh. Okay. Double checking to make sure I didn't just make a child class of frost damage. Should really get rid of that. Gale is another one. Been working with clay for years, but the wheel for like 6 months. I can make stuff as long as the femur of an 8-year-old. The comparisons that you come up with are unique, to say that. Blizzard. This is like taking like a pop quiz. Can I remember every single ability out of the 30 abilities I've made? Shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 more. Imagining the wheel. Hello, Johnny. How are you doing? You probably sent that message like an hour ago. I apologize. Johnny, can you name the abilities? You've done playtesting. Nope, just sent. Can you name any of the druid abilities? You're on the spot. I'm about to drag you on screen in a second. Johnny's done every single playtest in the past 6 months. Can you name one ability in the game? Go. Besides the one that are on screen right now. It'd be actually hilarious if you just left chat. Oh, he's gone. It's either that or he's opening up the game, because he has the build on his desktop right now. Unless he deleted it. Alright. Stop dicking around. I'm gonna open up the rest of these here. Ah, okay. Pressurize. Oh, actually, there's one ability that we haven't created yet. one called Electrify. My emojis won't open up for me. Oh no. Alright. This frost damage one is actually pretty unique to a couple of these abilities, so I'm actually going to copy this component over to them. Gale and Blizzard both get it. And Cyclone as well. Oh yeah, shit, and this one. I was like looking at it like, Gale? Yeah, it does. I don't know why this actually has a gameplay queue on it. Where is this being used? Frost Blast. Open up a second content browser here. Will your game have card states such as rain to somehow combine abilities with environment states such as lightning with puddles on the ground, or is it too early to think about it at this stage, map stages? So I actually get asked that question a lot. Every map will have what I like to call like an event, or like an environmental event that happens. Something to kind of change up the gameplay a bit, or something to like play around, so it's just not stale. A couple of the ideas I have are in the Vortex map that we have, for instance. Let me just open that up. In Vortex, what I want to do is kind of fit the theme of the map a bit, where every, I don't know, like every minute or so, there is like a pulse that comes out of this tower that's basically drawing energy to it. And what it will do is it'll increase all players' damage by like 20% for the next like 20 seconds or something. I'm not trying to ignore you. I'm just trying to like, I look at chat, I go through the questions, and then I get to it, you know? I start from the bottom and then go back up to catch up. But this is that's like one of the ideas I have. One of the ones I've implemented is basically a kill effect, where every 45 seconds there is a strong like blizzard or like gust that comes through the middle of the map here, where if you're caught in it, it will kill you. So there's different like effects that you have to play around that just change up the gameplay for everybody. Read it before, I'm not saying that word, but yeah. Man, I've done 2 tries to make that small flower pot. 2 tries because I needed the surface to be ultra smooth and flat. You gotta come to me with game development questions. Taking me off topic. Melee attacks are magic only? Another good question, actually. So, I thought about adding a auto attack for characters that would be melee, kind of like a fire scythe or something like that, right? The one issue I have with it is that class would have to have like a lot of mobility to like keep up with other classes to like stay on target and do damage. And the whole system with this game is you get to pick 3 class trees and each class tree provides 10 different abilities to your character, either on your Q, E, or R key, right? That's where you assign them. So if I give the auto attack class that is melee only, like a ton of mobility so they can stay like on their target to deal damage, people would be able to just assign that class to one of the 3 they're allowed to pick, and then just be kind of one of those annoying classes that's able to like get away from people while just like stacking like dots and shit on them. So there's a certain level of balance I have to do with mobility in the game to stop that from happening. And if I was going to do something where it's melee, oh man, it's hard to think of how I would come up with a way to truly balance that out. It might be something where it's like an ability that they can use, where they summon like a scythe and they have it for like the next like 6 seconds or something. I don't know. I have thought about it a lot, but I can't like in my head come up with like a perfect solution for it. It feels like keeping everything at like a range, like at range, just feels easier to balance in the long run. Final last development questions. Can you make an Arab class? There's not necessarily like what kind of question is that? I'm not even going to answer that. Like, what does that even mean? Alright, so for abilities here, this actually got changed to Cyclone, and I thought I changed it before. I guess I didn't. Let's change these over to the new GE that we made. So this is Cyclone. This one is Gale. Actually, it's probably going to be easier just to type in the name of the ability. It should just come up. Oh my god, bro. Yo, that's crazy. Why the hell? Your head just turns to like violets and saying like the craziest stuff. I get being edgy, but oh my god. Neovim. Yeah, let me look that up. Is that just like an assistant or something? Base text editor. Huh. I'll bookmark it and look into this. Do not want to save this in networking. I am not doing that, man. You cannot beg me to do something like that. That is insanely disrespectful to the people that died. Just saying. This one already has its new GE from yesterday, I believe. Same with this one. This one technically doesn't need it because this actually doesn't apply any. This is a utility spell. You know what it's referencing. Okay, this one already has it. Where are you at? This truly isn't like a passive effect though. This is more like a support effect. How do I want to do the naming for something like this? I think what I'll do is I'll just keep the name, or like the naming convention, the same, but this will be a child class of a new support parent type. Move this into the other folder. Okay, it just updated. We're good. Norm McDonald has entered the chat. Oh my god. I love Norm. They said they've been asked this since September. Bro, chill out. That's crazy. Everyone will have a melee attack. Mage, simple kick, magical abilities, melee strikes, melee abilities. The mage is vulnerable to melee attacks, melee is vulnerable to magic, and everyone will have their own role in the team. I'm a bad game designer. Reminds me of that tragedy. Yeah. The more he specifies like dates and names and events, it draws closer to the 9/11 tragedy. I'm a bad game designer. Blender modeling. Working on a game and need some help with my Create 3D characters. Ooh, I am not an artist. I actually suck at modeling, to be honest with you. Blender is not my forte. If I showed you what my characters look like in Blender, you would probably just block my channel. They're that bad. I've tried. I don't think that's what happened. Just the thought though. Alright. Okay, so these are the effects. Yeah, just going in and setting these. Yeah, this target spell range thing, by the way, I definitely gotta remove for the most part. I think there's only one spell that like actually uses it in the game right now. Help me, yes, no. I mean, with Blender characters, I would not be a help to you, my friend. I am not great at it. If you think that it would be helpful, I would severely put you behind on where you could actually be with modeling. like the assets in here aren't things that I've modeled. So you can't use these as a reference to my skill. Oh, I get it. He wore a high jacket on that day, right, Mike? Oh, I'm not agreeing with anything you say right now. You're saying some crazy stuff again. Okay. All these should be set now. Game. My story as the game begins. Players are introduced to Juniper, young woman. Passion for capturing reality through the lens of her trusty camcorder. One day, while rummaging through her belongings, Juniper discovers an old duffel bag hidden away in the closet. Curiosity peaks, she opens the bag, finds a mysterious money pouch named Dark and a piece of paper with names of her supposed friends. I mean, it sounds like a good story. It involves mystery. I'm not a great storyteller, but sounds interesting. Okay, now this is where it's going to get a little weird. Let's move this back over here so we can focus on just rating the effects for the druid class. Great child. Druid. Which ones did we not create? Clarity? No, that's already done. Rockwall doesn't need it. Brace is done. Did we make one for Tranquility? Also, are these subclasses? Game my... Hold on a second. In Google Translate, did you? Made up of separate, especially loosely connected codes. Okay. I mean, your game sounds interesting, if that's what you're asking me. It's hard to, I guess English isn't your first language, and Google Translate sometimes can get really messed up. He was the co-pilot, so basically I think he was the co-pilot and the pilot was tired and took the nap. What are you even talking about, my guy? Yeah, these aren't actually parented. I'm probably going to create new versions of these. This druid damage, but technically not damage. The gameplay effect for druid is actually kind of a hybrid effect. So I might reword that as well. Mike, yeah, what's up? That all of them? No, Surge. Clarity actually is. Yeah. It's already here, I just gotta rename it. I gotta ask you, why do you hate me talking about a very well-known pilot? Okay. Yeah. I don't know. So it can be a touchy subject in American culture. Just a little bit. Also, I'm never here to discuss like politics. I'm here to teach programming. So when we bring up like topics like that, it's kind of takes me off topic, if that makes sense, and onto things that like I just like should not express my opinion on because I do not know that much about it. I think I was like maybe 6 years old when it happened. So I don't think my opinion should matter too much. That just needs to be compiled again. We'll set these here. The reason we're not just reparenting them is because sometimes in doing like a reparent on a blueprint, it actually does not take hold of all the new parameters that you assign to it when you compile. I just like trolling everyone. Oh, I know. Listen, man, I was young once too. I get it. As you get older, you kind of realize like what's edgy and then what's just being like a little bit out there. I used to say some crazy shit when I was like 14. Back on like Xbox Live, Call of Duty lobbies. And yeah, what's up? Oh, Spirit Stream. Another one we forgot. What mic do I use? No idea. Alright, let's move some of these over now. So for instance, this life root ability. I just want to put the parameters in place for it. So it's applying an additional effect, applying the passive effect that we made. We also want it to apply the actual effect of the ability. And move this over to this monitor. I don't get it. This may not be a relevant question, but how can I make a cutscene without cinematics? So you're talking about like a... Are you talking about like a real-time cutscene where like it kind of like blends into the gameplay? Yeah, real time. So there was a couple ways that I did it with like my horror game that I made, and it involved, I can show you, I believe. Where is... One second, let me take a look and see if I can get the code. Okay, paranoia, here we go. So I may be bringing up like the C++ code for it, but this is stuff you can actually do in blueprints as well, if that's like your main thing. I believe... So I had like a real-time cutscene for like the character getting like in and out of like bed. It says sequencer, but like it actually isn't sequencer. I was thinking of using sequencer for it. Actually going to private. Right now I'm just checking to see where I was calling the functions. You don't have to like worry about any of this. Okay, yeah, actually this was it here. So this move component 2 function was kind of like the engine behind it all. I would have like an animation play, right? So like I picked up animations off of like Mixamo for like movement and stuff. So I would have an animation play while also doing a move component 2. And I would just grab the root component of the character and like slowly move it into the position where the character needed to be once the animation completed. And the character I had was something called true first person. So the camera was actually connected to their head socket on the character. So I would turn off character input beforehand, so they weren't able to like move anything around. It would kind of like lock the camera onto the head. So as the animation's playing, the camera would actually go with the animation perfectly. Yeah, so I would disable all the input on the character while it was doing this. Hopefully that makes sense. If you need to see how like I disabled the character's input, you know, let me know. I don't know if your game is like third person or not though. But for first person or true first person, this is what I did and it worked pretty well. Hopefully that was helpful. If my character doesn't have a body, I could just move a camera. So when you say doesn't have a body, are you saying that like the character itself is gone? Or are you saying like the actual mesh of the character is gone, but like the actor is like still alive? Because like if you have an actor that has like a camera on it, you technically can still move it so long as like your controller is still possessing that actor. So for instance, like hold on one second. We look in here, we have my character, you have his camera, right? If I removed the mesh here, not like destroyed that like the actor itself, but if I just removed the mesh and the camera was still here and your controller was still controlling this, then technically, yeah, you can still move the camera around with the move to component function. I'm not gonna, so the thing is, I'm not gonna read like nonsensical like statements, because like what's the point of me like reading that? Yeah, no problem. I'm not gonna, yeah, see, you even, I mean, you understand. You're just trying to mess with me. Okay. So, just gotta set these parameters. This is has duration ability. Oh, actually with a set by color attribute. It's a duration effect. Not have a stacking type or anything that I can see. Okay. This back over here. Yeah, okay. Druid. What other ones do we need to convert? We got life root, got that one complete. I don't know if Surge actually has anything in it. No, it doesn't. This one does though. Okay, we'll take this, open it up here. This is a has duration. Now the weird thing is this one's actually using a scalable float, but I'm actually going to change that to set by color. We're going to use the duration gameplay tag, have this be set. Periodic EE on application gameplay effects, those GEs will only be applied once. Oh, I'm assuming that it's replying to this, or it's talking about this right here. I mean, we'll test it out and see. I'm assuming that that's what this means. I want to talk about my grades. We'll see how much talking I can actually do. I'd much rather like answer questions about coding or like the game you're developing or something like that. Try to stay on topic and keep it you know, keep it on pace with what we're trying to do. Especially because I got a deadline coming up. I believe that's everything that actually needs to get moved over. Set by collar and all that stuff. Yeah. It's going to throw up that error. I'll check out and see what that means. Yeah, what's up? Tranquility technically is an instant effect. set by collar damage. Okay, that has everything pretty much set where it needs to be. We already looked at this one, yeah. Oh no, okay. Embrace needs to get moved over. We're almost there. Hey, you know how it is, man. Not gonna lie to you. I'll be straight with you. I want to make sure that they do not have any of these. This is a has duration effect set by collar. What were my grades like growing up? Oh, terrible. I just wanted to stay home and play WoW all day. Guess I was trying to change this into something. We're gonna be adding gameplay cues to pretty much all of these. I don't want to study at home. I don't even do homework. I do homework at school. I revise before exam. Oh, you review before exam. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to teach like kids the importance of school and actually like staying focused. But I mean, we talked about it yesterday. I'd pretty much just be repeating what I said at that point too. I'm gonna copy the modifiers off of this. This actually doesn't want the additional effects from the parent class. Do the pro Unreal users move? When you say move, do you mean like out of our chairs? Is it that's what you're talking about? Then occasionally when we had to get our Grubhub order. The one where you don't use blueprints and use real code? Oh, like this? Yeah. I do everything in C++. The only thing I don't is, right now we're adding gameplay effects that use, like, our custom, like, execution calculation class in C++. So we're kind of just setting variables in the blueprints. We're not actually doing like any of the coding or like coding in there. Yeah, the gameplay ability system, a lot of it is blueprint friendly, but trying to make as much custom stuff as I possibly can. Within reason, you know. Right now I'm kind of just finishing up the We did like a complete redo on our combat system. So I'm just touching up everything that got changed and making sure it's all converted over. Blueprints for pussies, code for oily, muscular men. Oh my god. That's fucking crazy. I do appreciate blueprints occasionally, mainly for animations. But beyond that, yeah, I got you. I get my my variables from C++ for animation blueprints, but I do all the locomotion in there because fuck doing that in code. There's actually not even like a performance difference between like animation blueprint and C++. It's like negligible. Don't get why you gotta study when you study 8 hours daily in school. It's mainly because people forget what they learn during school, and studies have shown that if you just reintroduce the information multiple times, then you will it'll sink in, so to speak. This is already set. Yes. Sorry, I'm getting like lost in the sauce here. That's fine. This one doesn't really need to be touched at all. Good. These I know we did. Yeah, okay. I think we're solid. Get rid of this, get rid of that. That as well. That can go. Another one done. What are you saying huh to, Johnny? You don't agree? Had a $1 billion idea? Might not want to mention it then. It's that valuable. These are still using the old one here. Let's change this over. Save. Really? Where's this being used? Huh. Should be pulling that data directly from the gameplay ability itself. I don't know why I have this set in here. You know, I'm actually going to take this out and put this to none on these. That's where it should be anyways. What's this guy talking about? You don't understand coding. If you understood, you'd know. Safe to delete. Dude, I feel like I have a memory of a fucking goldfish sometimes. Did we set the pyroclast spells already? Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the test map. Try out the abilities. See if there's any weird bugs right off the bat that we can find and smash. Holy shit, that does a lot of fucking damage. That needs to get nerfed. That auto attack was what doing? Did that just crit for 400 damage? What the fuck? Okay. And then our scorch effect hits like a wet paper towel. My aunt was yelling at me and my family threatened to throw my PS4 in the street if I don't let her study. She screams a lot and my family doesn't care about it. So you're saying she screams while you're studying? Is that what you're saying? Okay, so where's it pulling that damage value from? Go into the effects. Lightning. Granted to target actor. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Also, is this even... No, okay. Yeah, let's redo that. Something is wrong with that class. This is referencing this? In what way? Or where? I don't see any components. Not a child class of it. I don't see where it's trying to like apply like an additional effect or anything either. Okay, well, you know what? We'll appease them. Zero this out, compile. Get rid of both of these. The last thing I want to do is force delete and have to go through that reference updater again, because that shit was really annoying to do last night. She's studying for a test when I want to play in a place. She decides to ruin my day and study there. When I want fast Wi-Fi, she doesn't let me go there since she is studying. If I want to play on the PS4, she's studying in the room with the PS4. She had a mental breakdown. Gosh. Sounds like she's following you. Not a detective though. I don't think this needs any like additional effects on it. Yeah, we're good. I did update the gameplay effect, right? On the gameplay ability itself. Yes. Alright, let's try it out. Yeah, I wonder where it's getting that damage from. There we go. Handle damage to be applied. It's trying to apply 106 damage. That's a lot. Okay. Old health equals get health early exit. Should be applying 106 damage here though. I don't even know why I'm like bothering to double check this. Old health gets the health before we apply damage. Then we do our damage application here. So we're gonna do print out what the damage is that we're trying to apply currently. Like so. We're gonna live code and try it out. Something is not going through here. She's annoying you again. Local damage done, 0. Handle damage to be applied, 54. Getting zeroed out. What could be zeroing you out? Just going through instances in my head where this could actually be a problem. No, I mean, it has to be in the effect. We just changed it before. Maybe it's not looking for the correct tag when it's doing the damage application. Yeah, it's not. Okay. There we go. My god, you always want to hurt people. That's crazy. Okay, so we can see that there's like a stacking damage effect here, right? Oh, we have 0 intensity stacks. So something is increasing our damage by increments here. I usually print out calculations like this as they're happening. Let's pause this. So it's not ability damage data that's incrementing the damage here, from what I'm seeing. Must be something else. She hurt me. She hurt me for my life. Sorry to hear that, man. But violence with more violence does not solve violence. That's what you should probably go by. It's like an increment of like 30, right? Or is it more of like a cubic? No, it's roughly about like 30 or so. Incrementing by 30. What the hell could be, what could be doing that? It's not like we're applying like any effects either, right? We're just doing our standard calculation. No, there's no way that's causing it. Let's see if it actually increments that for every ability or just this one. Well, nothing else did. I don't know what kind of advice I can even give you. I'm just a game developer. That's like life advice. And it's okay to like vent. Totally get that. But any opinion or advice I have for you, I couldn't say it would come from a place of like experience. So with that being said, I just don't know if I can give you something that's worth your time of hearing. I want to take a look at the pyromancy damage. Up by collar damage. Oh, wait a minute. Is it because it's additive? Is it remembering? Let's try something real quick. No, it should be additive, right? Because local damage gets reset. All additive means is it takes like the current amount of the damage value and it just adds on what it's going to apply. If we did overwrite and we had two sources of damage basically happen at the exact same instant, one of the damage sources would not get counted because it would get overridden by the other. So additive is actually very important to have there. I don't have it set to infinite or anything, do I? Literally just there. Set by color, additive, instant. Should be the same thing. Let's see if our scorch ability does it. Doing the same thing, yeah. Ain't that weird? So this is our old like damage calculation class right here. I'm gonna hook this up again because this is what I believe lightning bolt was actually going off of last time, and see if it does that additive. We're kind of like breaking down like a debugging process right now. I just need to know like some constants that are happening here so I can further whittle down what could possibly be causing it. Tempest, lightning bolt. Damage class. Still the same thing. So there is like an additive for damage, and it's based off the amount of essence a character has. Because our essence is 20, right? That's not increasing. No, yeah, it's 22. Tried speaking, I tried threatening. She keeps on acting like that. I just don't know what to say. I'm at a loss for words. The thing is, I think it's more harmful to give wrong advice on situations you don't know anything about than most people think. So if I tried like telling you, you better find your words, I don't have the right words to say for a kind of situation like that. Giving you advice in a position that I've been in where I've never experienced something like that before, it would be more harmful to you than beneficial. And I'm not going to bullshit you. Told you I'm going to be straight up and answer questions honestly. There's only a couple things that we changed that would cause a problem like this. After changing everything here, I kind of want to yeah, okay. Our redirectories are valid, so we're good there. Shut down and just recompile. You know what I didn't try? I didn't try and see if it was happening on the client. I only tried the listen server. That actually matters too. After compiling, I'm going to try it on the server here and see if the damage is getting amplified. My log. Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, happening on both sides. What could I have changed? Fly Invoker gameplay effect targets. So we kind of have to start there because that's the first indication that we have that something's being amped. Is when we're calling that function inside our custom ability systems component, which I haven't touched anything in there. I just thought of something. Our data table, we cleared out those 3 spots that had gameplay effects. Is that affecting our abilities? Let's find out. This one's for Scorch. This one is for the lightning bolts. Now, if this turns out to be true, and these are affecting it, I'm going to go in and immediately find out why. That should not be the case. If this damage effect spec here is null, it should not be taking data or modifying data in any way. Okay. Son of a bitch. Are you bastard? Why are you doing that? That data table is being used. Where are you? So this is where our damage modification comes in. I don't believe this section pulls the data table. Let's see where this pipeline is coming from. Actually, this is being called from here. Which is being called from a bunch of different places, but we only care about one specifically. Alright, that's not modifying damage. F12. I will not budge on my plan. I will simply make her pay without cash. You definitely have an interesting way of saying things. I'll give you that. So this is created back here. Oh, that's just target data. Huh. So this right here has all our, basically all the data for our damage. This is getting set by something. Oh man, this is like killing me. Is our data table like manually updating the damage effect of the class that we're trying to spawn in? How difficult is it to get a job as a junior Unreal Engine developer, C++/Blueprint? I couldn't tell you, to be honest with you. The job market for a game dev is like a roller coaster, but that's with like any development. There's so many factors that go into it, like portfolio, experience, education. So all I can say is don't focus on that part of it. Focus on making things and just keep building your portfolio. Just keep working on it every day and eventually you'll get to that point. The worst they can say is no. Yeah, so this is getting changed by something. Only thing I can think of. And if that's the case, then we have to go into our layer state See how this is being manipulated? Where's my initializer? There you are. Okay. Oops, above or declared. Yeah, okay. Wait, what is this? Where is this being used? I clicked debug apparently. So we're grabbing the ability damage data from the standard attack, which is this part right here. So we're doing something with this when this is null, which should not be the case. Should be definitely using the GA here. I don't even know why we have ability damage data been on here. We have this. Gotta be a reason that I did that before. I have several problems with employment. Firstly, this is the country which this is a country in which I currently live, and my country's education is not listed in the EU and USA. I'm really trying to improve my skills. Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to work with what you got. If you make like really interesting and cool projects, I mean, people will hire you based off of skill. So, I mean, if you're like starting to learn now, you just got to keep like creating projects and just use what you learned from past projects to make better things. I mean, the project I'm currently working on is like the 9th or 10th thing that I've tried to make solo. All the other projects before this were not great, in my opinion, but as you like improve more and more, you like look back at past work and you're like, why the hell did I do it that way? I mean, shit, right now I'm looking at code I wrote 5 months ago and I'm like, why did I do it this way? I don't even think this is being used. Oh, apparently it's being used. Get invoker ability damage data from input ID. So it's grabbing like custom damage data. And where are we using this? When we are creating a gameplay effect. Oh, right here. It was under my nose the whole time. It's weird that I have a completely separate ability damage data just for auto attacks. I don't know why I'm not just using it in the GA. I'm gonna break this off, put it over here just for a second. Go back to my player state. Right. How am I adding this at the beginning? I'm going into the spell data. I'm grabbing it that way. So that means for each one, I'm actually just grabbing. Hold up. Ah, okay. Yeah, I don't like that view actually. So from the ability damage data, we're grabbing the damage effect from there, not from the gameplay ability itself, which is weird. Not gonna lie, really weird. I'm gonna probably change that. This must have been from a very long time ago. So this stuff I don't mind. I guess like my thought process was keep everything in the data tables and do nothing outside of them and just discard the ones that are inside the gameplay effect. Is that what I was going with? Looks like it. Let's I actually want to dig into this just a little bit here. Yeah, I'll just print all this out too. One. Make outgoing spec actually should just grab this and check if it's null already, which is probably why we haven't run into Any problems with this so far? Unless I'm like totally missing something right now, but it looks like we're just replacing the damage effect. I'm gonna update my documentation on this as well. I can't believe this actually slipped through the cracks here for so long. I say so long, but more like 2 to 3 weeks since we've been redoing combat. But this is why we test. Yeah, I'm glad that lightning bolt effect actually broke, because I wouldn't have saw this. This is a... Don't do that. Visual Studio, I swear to God. Yeah, checking to see if the class even exists. If it doesn't, actually just returns a no pointer handle. How does that work? Wow. How has this shit not exploded? That is actually crazy. Am I like returning like a default or something? No, I'm returning it. Am I filling in this data with something else? Sorry, this is just kind of blowing me away. I'm just looking at this viewer to see where this is actually being used, and I can't see anything where this would have gotten changed. Yeah, I don't know why I'm not just grabbing it from the GA, but I guess like the only possible reason I can think of why I did it this way is because I must have like drank a shitload of coffee, wired out of my mind, and I was like, oh yeah, fuck, I'll just use data tables for everything. Replace all the data that's in a GA with this, so it's all in one spot and I can maintain it all. Which, I mean, not a terrible idea. I'm just surprised I didn't make a make documentation for it. Okay. I mean, we'll do it that way. But I could definitely gotta update this after we test it. Yeah, so for things like this, I like to write like a full-on like step-by-step guide on like creating like a gameplay ability and like how to like initialize certain things. So that's where I'm going to be putting this. If this works the way I'm thinking it works right now, then we're just going to write this out. So we'll see what it comes back with, if anything. Yeah, so let's actually check this handle too. So when this gets created, I mean, from what I'm seeing, it should be null. Valid checks the data pointer, correct? Data.reset for data is valid. Data pointer sets data. Yeah, okay. That should check it. Go in here. So for testing purposes, what I'm going to do is, for this default loadout, I'm going to unequip the gameplay effect for our auto attack. Oh, here it is. I'll set this to none. Look at our logs here. Just to filter the logs out a bit too. We only care about logs that are within the Invoker gameplay ability. So we cast the Pyromancy ability. What do we have? Null pointer. Didn't get called. Is there a second version of this function? Did I just not live code? I just forgot the live code, I guess. I'm losing my mind. It's crazy. I think the best part about streaming is I can go back through the VODs, and if I fuck up somewhere, I could just check back and see like where I messed up. New buff unlocked. Which one did I get today? Okay, live coding succeeded. Let's try it out. Handle's valid. There it is. Okay. Alright. Yeah. So what's happening here is this set ability damage data function checks to make sure it's valid first, that it has like an overridden damage effect spec here. But if it doesn't, it just skips it. So it uses the one that's in the regular GA. So I basically said like, hey, it's optional. Jesus Christ. Okay. Let's write up the docs here for this. %10 stealth buff when in mint chocolate chip ice cream. Honestly, bro, I think it's more like 90%. How to integrate Steam into Unreal Engine 5 game. Is there any free library or something like that? Yeah, so the way to do it is actually through the Steam's API. So in one of the past projects that I made for like a course, there was actually like a plugin that we made that handled the Steam like sessions and everything. It's honestly, it's kind of lengthy, but there's a lot of things inside the online or Steam online subsystem that you have to like implement into your game to get it to work. I might be able to link the course that I took that actually went over this whole thing if you'd be interested. But this basically sets it up so you can have lobbies hosted through somebody, but it would go through like a Steam like friends list. The course itself is not free though, unfortunately. I think it's like 20 or 30 bucks, but it taught me a lot. Is this possible to do with blueprints? I actually don't know. I would assume that you can. I think some of it has to be done in C++, but don't quote me on that. The thing is, I've never tried to do it in blueprints before, but I know you have to use Steam's API, and I don't know if there's pre-made functions in Unreal Engine for that. It's possible. I just never looked into it. So we're gonna grab function names here when we're writing this up. I'm gonna make a section specifically for damage handling. Fuck. Receive is the only word I get fucked up. I probably just jinxed myself and spelled it wrong. For spawned actors to receive a that's pretty much all we need there. Actually, like a continuation of 2. I want to make sure I get the wording right on this too. Yeah, okay. 1% stealth buff when a knife spot. One way to put it. Damage effect spec is null pointer inside the pulled ability damage data. It uses the gameplay abilities damage effect spec instead. We have this here and it's edit anywhere. I actually kind of want to get rid of this and we'll just use everything on DTs. I think that might be the move, honestly. Actually not. Pass to. Well, I guess it's a pass to this. Oh, wait, no, I'm missing a step. There we go. Yes, I mean, I can fill out the other details later, but the important part of this was I wanted to make sure this was written up, so I'd never had to look for that again. I will put a note. I'm gonna keep this here, but Make sure to complete the ability damage data inside the... Make sure to complete the ability damage data inside the data table. Better, there's definitely a better way to word that, but yeah. Looking like a mesh. I don't even know how to take that. Definitely in the zone, because I want to make sure that the wording of this will make sense to me in the future if I ever read this again. I think that's like, number one is like the most important thing. Number two is, I think it actually just wants to be like a note saying like, we want to move away from putting damage effects inside GAs. Might be the way to do it. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna... Yeah, having everything in data tables is definitely a better idea. Past me was right. But past me was really bad at writing notes. Which is how we got here. Okay, we can probably remove those tests now. That I totally lost track of. Where the hell did I put them? Right, in here. There they are. Oh man. Tonight is literally just gonna be me going through that whole fucking data table. Setting all the data, each ability. Oh god. Gonna be like the most painful thing ever to do, but it needs to get done at some point. Might as well just do it now. Or not now, but in a bit. Looking like cheese. Remember the joke about the high notes? I think so, yeah. I think that was one of the good jokes, and I'm not saying good as in like all your jokes like aren't funny. I'm saying good jokes as in they didn't involve some really nasty things. I'll just put it that way. We can probably set our gameplay effect back here. We're getting there with the combat though. We have a pretty good baseline for a lot of things. Looking bright. You know, as much as I love like the ripple effect and everything, you might just have to get rid of it. I mean, you can see that it like throws off like the vision of the player. So it's either I find a way to reduce the amount that happens, or it's just gone. That just makes me so sad. We can actually turn off that like bubbling effect for that ability now, since we're using it. Or we pretty much have like the collision down pat. Basically just like a debug collision volume, displaying the area of effect for damage. Abilities. Hide spell mesh on activation. Well, man. What? What's up? Oh, I forgot we changed this one too. But the collision volume isn't set, so I gotta change that. Gotta tell you. You can roll dice like in D&D, and if there are less than 10 of them, the ability will deal extra damage. It'll be fun, I think. That's kind of what it is. The way RNG for crit works, at least how I have it now, is it kind of does that in a sense, but it's not a 10-sided die. It's a 4-sided die, so there's a 25% chance as that ability will crit. Which, man, I really hate RNG in games, so I think like crit chance is going to be something a bit different. I think having like setup to abilities is a really good mechanic, and having like just a dice roll on like critical damage can feel bad at times, but feel great at other times. Like if you like hit like 4 times in a row, it's awesome. But if you miss 4 times in a row, then it doesn't feel great. I think I'm probably gonna make a mechanic that is a something where like every X amount of like attacks or something will set up like a guaranteed crit on something. I don't know. Trying to think of like better ways to handle it. But we'll see. Have some water, take a glass of water. I'm good for right now. Got my coffee. What's up? What do you got? Oh, I also need to redo the fireball. The explosion got taken away the last patch. What's up? Yeah, so like the warping like really throws off auto attacks too. I think it's gotta go. Man. What I will do is I'll probably use it for like earthbending effects more than anything, because I don't want to completely get rid of it. So I feel like the ripple effect would make a lot more sense in that kind of scenario. So take the water, take a sip. I'm good for right now. What do you got for me? What else do I have before playtest? I mean, I gotta just input all the damage. I got all the gameplay effects made. Gotta test out passives. And then finish up the visuals and sounds reachability, which a lot of the visuals are in play. I just gotta adjust the collision. It's part of a joke. It's up to you now. I'll just say that I want to drink the water. Man, you really want to lead me up to the punchline. I want to drink the water. Okay, I'm not doing all that. What's the punchline? Just tell me. There was one thing in here actually I wanted to double check. Yeah, this to do. Yeah, so Fireball has like two collisions, technically. It has the initial impact, and then it has the explosion afterwards. So, for the model version of it, I'm definitely going to add in two separate colors to display the impact and then the explosion radius. I'm not an actor, man. It ain't happening. You're asking for a lot. But anyways, probably gonna call it here, ladies and gentlemen. Today, not too much, honestly. It is the end of the week, so we're kind of winding down. A lot of this stuff is going to be super repetitive, especially when I'm like working tonight. It's just a lot of data entry stuff. I gotta fill out these data tables and balance damage. Internal playtesting starts tomorrow. So we're going to be doing that, testing out all the abilities and spells that were created. We're going to be testing out the new map, all that good stuff. And then gather as much data as I possibly can on bugs and UI improvements. And then one day we come back at it and improve the game even further. I'm really hoping to get better debugging, add it to the game next week. That was going to be the goal this week, but honestly, there's way too much to be done before playtest. So yeah. Say I'm feeling sleepy. Let's finish the joke. Don't finish it before... Oh wow, I feel tired. I'm leading you into the punchline. Go for it. Time's ticking, my friend. What do you got? If the joke is you like left the chat after getting me to say that. I added some sleeping pills. I plotted my revenge. I don't know if there was something you said before that, but if you did say something before that, it got removed. Not by me. This guy's probably drunk or something. Nah, he's just a kid. He's got an imagination. Good call, though. Time to put you in the pocket you put my family in. What? Okay, so like how did those two previous things that you wanted me to do lead up to this? And why? I feel like thinking about this for too long is actually gonna hurt my brain. Anyways, I'm hungry. I'm gonna get lunch. Stream tomorrow, 11:30 Eastern, as per usual. If I get everything done tonight, then tomorrow is pretty much going to be sound design day, where we make gameplay sounds for free. Because we're cheap. And we know how to use Audacity. The joke about it being out of pocket and my family being there. So you're saying your family is in pocket, or you're trying to get your family out of pocket? Because out of pocket is a it's just a saying. I plotted revenge to put you in there. That's out of pocket. Anyways, have a great morning, evening, afternoon, or night. And till tomorrow. Peace.